Okay, once again, welcome to this particular session on the P4PE talk, focusing on compensation without guesswork. And here we are helping executives once again to take a second look at how they are able to manage compensation and benefits through science and data, all right, so that they can achieve the best results they can. P4P Talks is one of those series that helps executives to look at what matters and is today's one is focused on the Nigerian and West African Compensation Intelligence Initiative by P4PE. The focus of this session will be most relevant to our heads of HR, our executives, compensation leaders, and startups and founders in various platforms and environments, as the case is. My name is Joel Omeike, yours truly. I am your host for this particular session, and I've had an interesting career in the past 27 years, helping executives to design various frameworks, various systems in order to deliver the best they can in their organization. I'm a trusted advisor, I'm a speaker, I'm an author, Times author, published author in various areas, including Fire Your HR, the transformation book for executives, the Burning Platform, which is a book for managing crisis by organizations, and Beyond Belief, how you can achieve all you can as an individual. In our career, in the things that we do, we've spent quite some interesting time in various environments with various audience, helping them to learn, to grow, to develop, to advance and achieve great success and results in various areas. This webinar is hosted by P4P Institutes, and we have been around for the past 15 years, helping organizations to orchestrate results around this particular webinar today is designed specifically around our research advocacy area that helps us to be able to validate and let organizations decide based on the insight and data we bring with them. Also an opportunity for me to give tribute to the past 15 years of work we've done in this particular space. We've built trust, we've challenged various practices. We've been driven by, we've helped organizations to transform their HR, to grow their business. And today, using AI, we assist organizations to achieve the best they can. We build institutions that work, and we build people that lead those institutions. Thank you for being with us on this particular journey as we discuss the compensation framework ahead. P4PETalk is a monthly program we run that helps organizations to bring their managers and their executives to understand emerging issues, trending issues that can help them to continue to advance and deliver results. It's usually a 1-hour session in the third Tuesday of every week by 12 o'clock, so you can always join us. is the most difficult? What will you say? Which is harder, attracting or retaining? You can use the chat box, just type attracting or type retaining in the chat box. Which one do you feel is the most difficult for organizations? Which is harder, attracting talent or retaining talent? Or are they the same thing? Yes, let's go to the chat box. Let me see you. Thank you very much for sharing. Yes. Okay. Retaining, beautiful. Retaining, fantastic. So 2 response. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Sharita. Response is saying retaining is a problem. Can we get one more person? It's still retaining. Everybody is still saying retaining. Retaining. Okay. So we have Deviant here. Jubril says it is attracting. That is. All right. So we have a 75% saying it is retaining and 25% saying it is attracting. Thank you for sharing. But here is the executive reality, right? Here is the executive reality. This is what most CEOs are struggling with today, that they are actually trying to find a way to address it, as the case is. A lot of executives, most organizations are flying blind on compensation. Compensation changes or increases when employees complain. When somebody, critical talent, resigns and says, if you don't increase, I'm going. That's when they change salary or increase salary. Or when they have stayed in the market for a long time and they cannot find candidates at the price that they are offering, they stop before they increase salaries. Many organizations rely on assumptions instead of market intelligence. An example of assumption is below salary. Our people are not happy. They are feeling like the salary is not okay. Yeah. Compensation decisions are often driven by politics. Politics. And if HR can play the politics very well, he can corner the MD or the ED or the executives, and then they will corner the board, and the board compensation committee will approve salary increase. Other than that, if you cannot play politics, a lot of organizations cannot increase salaries. So no data. Executive pay also, for our senior executives, we've also noticed that there are problems in this area. Executive pay structures are becoming disconnected from performance. A lot of executives are not connecting what they do with performance at that point in time. Mid-level talent attraction is also rising. It's also an issue across various industries. We are beginning to notice that the middle is empty. A lot of organizations are not able to retain or have people in the middle of the organization. They are moving to other areas, as the case is, and they are not able to achieve the same results at that particular point in time. So this is a concern organizations are beginning to face. So sales executives also, the incentive structures are frequently outdated. The pay structure we use for sales executive is so outdated that a lot of sales team members don't even stay. They just come, collect what they can, and then move on to the next place. Sales people do not stay with us, as the case is. So most organizations believe that they are competitive simply because they increased salaries last year. Just because they increased salary last year, they believe that they are competitive. That is not benchmarking. That is reacting to the industry, right? Compensation without intelligence creates hidden costs, right? It creates talent risk, and it weakens performance in the organization at that point in time. And unfortunately, many organizations only discover this problem after they have lost a key talent. And most times they are not able to recover that talent at that point in time. So they end up missing that particular talent, and the talent does not join or get results from the organization. Is not able to achieve any of the things that they could have achieved because that particular talent has moved on to another institution, as the case is. I'd like to do a poll with us. Let's take a quick poll and see, right? Let me see if I can run a poll quickly. Let me see. Okay, so there I have a poll there. It says, so you should see it on your screen shortly. It says, compensation without guesswork. Does your organization currently benchmark compensation formally, as in they write to organizations like P4PE, like KPMG, and say, please, we want to buy data who want access to data? That's formally. Do they carry out a market research? Yes, would you say yes, we do it? Or partially, right? Sometimes we do it. Or informally, we used to ask our friends, we go to social media, we call to us and say, please, who can share salary data for us? That's informally. Or no at all, we don't do it at all. Where will you place your organization in terms of compensation, as the case is? Yes, where will you place your compensation? We have gotten about 52 response. Can we get more response? So we'll leave the poll for another 30 seconds before we close it. Where will you place your organization? Does your organization currently benchmark compensation? Interesting. Interesting. Okay, thank you so much. We've crossed 58. One more person, so we can cross the 60% mark. Yes, one more person to respond to the poll. Does your organization benchmark compensation formally, as the case is? Okay, thank you very much. So this, I'm going to end the poll so that you can see the feedback. Thank you. So I've ended the poll. I'm sharing result. It's most probably going to show on your screen right now. You're going to see it there. So you can see that on the average, about 70% said no or informally. 70% said that generally formal compensation survey is not what they do. They don't compare survey at all as the cases at that point in time. And this is an interesting thing. It means that you have a lot of organizations that take performance or compensation decisions without data, without informing them at that point in time. Thank you very much for sharing in this poll. Let's progress. But what is changing today? Okay. What is changing today? Compensation now is directly impacting profitability. If we don't compensate well, we will not make enough profit. Compensation is no longer just about a HR issue. It's not an HR issue anymore. It used to be, but no longer a HR issue. I was having a session today, early this morning, and one of the students in class was arguing why the HR must be blamed. I said, HR is no longer to be blamed. I wrote a book, Fire Your HR, and clearly, while firing your HR, we also need to fire other executives. Compensation is no longer an issue for HR alone. Okay? Another thing we've also found out in this particular area is that compensation used to sit inside HR, but not anymore. It now affects retention, it affects employer brand, it affects productivity, even investor confidence in an organization. Once they look at how much you're paying salaries in your organization, they don't invest so much, because not paying so much means that most probably you're struggling with talent in your organization at that point in time. So the organizations winning talent today are not necessarily paying the most. They are not the highest paying, not necessarily. They simply understand the market better than the competitors do, and they're able to do it as much as possible. So regularly there is inflation. And as inflation comes, it changes salary position. The salary you just increase in January, if your organization increase salary in January, you notice by this May, or your employees already are looking moody, that the money is not enough. I'm sure you will have noticed that if your organization increased salary early this year, you notice that it is not enough again. Okay? And this is a concern for a lot of institutions, as the case is. Employees now compare salaries publicly. There's one WhatsApp group on the HR group we are in. Somebody declared that, look, I just received my salary alert. And he carried his salary. He did a screenshot of his account and showed the salary. Said, this is what they are paying me as a HR officer. Other people started sharing their own. This is what I receive also. And can you imagine, publicly, they are declaring how much they are earning and they are comparing notes digitally also at that point in time. So gone are the days when we say compensation is hidden, is a secret. Please do not tell anybody your salary. Nobody should know your salary. It is opundential now, if I may use that expression. So AI and digital skills are reshaping how pay is paid in various industries as much as possible. And this is an interesting part as can be at that point in time. Okay? And this is very, very critical things that we should pay attention to and then see what happens around those particular areas to see how things are going. So let's progress. Now, where are organizations getting it wrong? Now we've seen the problems. Where are organizations getting compensation wrong? There are 5 mistakes organizations are making when it comes to compensation. 5 mistakes various organizations are making when it comes to compensation. Many compensation problems are self-created. They are created by the organizations themselves. Some organizations reward longevity. They call it loyalty. You've been here for 10 years, you've been here for 15 years, that's why they're giving you salary. Instead of rewarding value, contribution to the table, they are rewarding loyalty. I am not saying loyalty is wrong, but loyalty must not be the first thing we put. A lot of people are loyal, but they are not adding value. So if you continue to reward loyalty, then those who bring value will continue to leave. They will come, they will not stay long, they will leave your organization. Others are over-investing at the top while they are starving the critical operational talent. The senior managers, executive managers, all the seniors, they are paying them big, big money. But the critical talent that is in the middle and at the bottom of the organization are not being compensated at all or compensated well. They are being ignored in the organization. And many sales, if you look at sales structures, they accidentally punish high performance by paying everybody the same salary, paying everybody the same bonus, despite the fact that some other individuals outperform. They were the ones that brought in the most of the funds at that point in time as much as possible. Okay? And this is one of the things we have to look at in order to be clear about what to do in order to achieve these particular results. So compensation strategy should drive performance. It should not frustrate performance. If your team members are feeling frustrated, then your compensation is not working very well. So what have we said? 5 mistakes. Paying based on tenure, unacceptable. Overpaying executives, unacceptable. Underpaying critical talent in the organization, in whatever level they are, unacceptable. Weak sales incentives, unacceptable. Poor benefit programs and designs, because all of these affect the business and affects the result you eventually get within the organization at that point in time. So this is part of the things we need to pay attention to and ask ourselves, what do we do to correct these problems? So if you look at these 5 things I've mentioned, which one hurts organization the most in your experience? Which of these 5? Just enter 1, 2, 3, or 4 or 5 in the chat box. Which one do you think a lot of organizations suffer from that hurts organization more as the case is? Can you see? Most of the responses were number 3, overpaying, underpaying critical talent in the organization. 2 persons responded that it is overpaying executives, and 1 says weak sales, that we are not focused on sales properly. 1 here mentioned number 5, poor benefits programs as the cases. Thank you very much for sharing. These are realities that you are facing. We are also seeing it. As consultants, executives, we meet organizations regularly, and we are seeing these problems in various areas. Now, what is the cost of getting pay wrong? What does it cost us to get wrong when you get it wrong? What are the errors that we see in compensation that are expensive that organizations are committing? What are these particular errors that organizations need to work on? Organizations usually measure payroll cost, but they rarely measure compensation inefficiency. Usually when HR reports, HR is always reporting 20 million naira payroll last month, 18 million naira payroll, 30 million naira payroll, but they do not measure the inefficiency that is caused by our compensation structure in the organization. Losing one critical talent, one critical employee can quietly cost more than a structured benchmarking system. If you lose one employee, take an example. You are paying an employee 1 million naira every month, and then the person resigns from the organization. That employee is after he resigns, you started losing 2 million every month because there's no more critical person to handle that thing at that point in time. And for 1 year, even if you recruited another person 3 months or 4 months later, the person you brought in is not as strong as the person that left at that point in time. And the person you brought in is even more expensive than the person that left at that point in time. You now notice that in 1 year, you have lost 24 million naira. Meanwhile, with less than 24 million naira, you will have run a benchmark, found out where the issues is, and corrected across the entire organization. So weak compensation structures do not only hurt morale, they directly reduce business performance and execution quality across board in everywhere within the organization. So attrition replacement cost is often underestimated. We don't take it seriously. Slow hiring process. Because sometimes you like advertise, interview. All the people you're interviewing, you're using the eye of the person that has resigned to be comparing the person you're interviewing. And you notice that they are far apart. At the end of the day, you just settle with just anybody at that point in time. So poor incentive programs, inefficiencies continue to cost us serious issues in compensation and benefits. Now, what smart organizations are doing differently? What are smart organizations doing? Leading organizations have started benchmarking, and they are taking it very seriously. They benchmark before they react. They don't listen to emotions again. Our salary is small. Our salary is like that. We don't do this benefit. We don't have staff boss. We don't do this. They don't listen to those things again. They ask you, show us data. Bring compensation data. And a lot of HR community now are beginning to ask for HR for data that they can do analysis on, as the case is. Last 3 years, we did benchmarking for just 5 organizations. Last year, we did benchmarking for close to 15 organizations. And this year already, this is just half year, or we are about 5 months into the year. We have received requests for proposal from more than 18 organizations on compensation and benefit benchmarking. That's to show you that gradually, organizations are beginning to recognize that it's something they must pay attention to for them to deliver value, as the case is. So smart organizations do not wait for resignation letter before they review compensation. They monitor the market continuously. They understand where they are vulnerable. And most importantly, they make compensation decisions that are proactively thought through instead of emotional or politically, as the case is. So they use compensation intelligence, not assumption. They benchmark critical roles in different places and differently also. They balance their fixed pay and their variable pay. Organizations that have only fixed pay are wasting money. At the end of the month, you credit staff. At the end of the month, you credit staff. Performance or no performance, you credit them. It's a waste of money. Organizations that use only variable pay are also demotivating their employees, because it is not every month that success is that employees can perform very well. So how about the months they did very well and then the months they didn't do very well? So you must balance between fixed pay and variable pay. And variable pay is usually useful for high-performing individuals within the organization. They align compensation with growth priorities. Which area are we growing? Are we increasing market share? Are we expanding in this particular area? Those are areas we should benchmark for growth projections at that point in time. So they treat compensation as a business intelligence that helps them to progress at that point in time. Now, what exactly does it mean? So we've said a lot of things about benchmarking. What exactly does it mean to benchmark? Is it comparing the salary of one organization to your own organization? Or is it comparing the benefits in one organization to another organization? Or is it comparing your pair? Okay, my pair is in, maybe I'm an insurance company. Then another insurance company, I go and ask them their data, and then I compare my salary with them. What exactly does benchmarking mean? What actually does it require at this point in time? Because it is very important. Because we've noticed that sometimes in the market, when people come for benchmarking, they are unable to articulate why they have chosen a particular organization. There's an organization that told us that, look, they wanted to benchmark another company beside them because they are in the same, they are competitors, they are doing the same thing. And I simply asked the question, when staffs resign from your organization, where do they go to? Do they go to that competitor? They say, no, they don't go to the competitor. I say, when you're hiring staff, do you hire staff from that competitor? They say, no, we don't hire from that competitor. I say, in that case, you should not benchmark them because your staff are not going there. So no matter the data you get from there, that is not what is driving your staff. You must benchmark where your staff is going to or where your staff is coming from so that you are sure that you're able to attract and retain talent very well. They will not leave anymore because where they are going to, the salary is the same thing or relatively similar to what you're paying. So benchmarking includes 6 things. 1, base salary. What is the current base salary they are paying and what are we paying? So you must compare base salary. Sometimes they call it basic salary. So the basic salary there and the basic salary here is the same thing. 2, total rewards competitiveness. If you bring all the things you're giving and look at all the things you're giving, cash, non-cash, in-kind, gym, and all those HMO, all those things you do, join it together and monetize it compared to the other institution. Which one is stronger? Some organizations pay high salary, small benefits. Another organization pay small salary, plenty benefits. At the end of the day, it depends on what your staff are interested in. Do not copy what does not fit your structure and your organization. Then your executive compensation analysis. You must also benchmark executives. Do not overpay your executives. Listen, some organizations don't need executives. Let me repeat. Some organizations have too many executives that they don't need. They are top heavy. Organizations that are running themselves. Organizations that the main work is at the junior and middle levels. They don't need a lot of executives. One MD, one GM, or one C, or one ED is enough. But you enter that organization, MD, DMD, GM, ED, plenty all across the whole place. Everybody busy stamping papers and signing signatures, drinking tea and watching CNN, wasting our compensation money that could have been used to inspire and drive growth in other levels within the organization. How about your sales incentive? When it comes to sales, what are you paying in terms of sales? What is the benefit? What is the bonus? What's the commission? What's the driver? What's the thing that makes the salesman get up from his chair and go out and sell, as the case is? Sometimes it's because the salary is just too good. That's why your salesman sits in the office, raises his leg on the table, because there is nothing pushing her or pushing him at that point in time. Or in your own structure, both the high-performing salesperson and the low-performing salesperson, they collect the same money, the same commission, the same bonus. So what is the drive? Why should I drive myself at that point in time? Then there's also industry and geographic compensation. It is a crime to pay the same salary. Let me say it again. It is a crime to pay the same salary that you pay in Abeokuta. You now go and pay it in Abuja. Abeokuta and Abuja are not the same thing, even though they are spelled, the first 2 letters in their names are the same thing. The salary in Abuja must be higher than the salary in Abeokuta. Why? Geographic difference. The cost of living in Abeokuta is lower compared to the cost of living in Abuja, as the case is. And you can think of other locations, right? What other locations do you think that the salary should be higher? Can you think of other locations that salary should be higher? I've given you Abuja as an example. Which other location do you feel that salary should be higher? Organizations should consider paying higher in those locations.
Lagos, of course.
Exactly. Lagos, Port Harcourt, Well, Rufus, I'm not sure about Ibadan, but I agree with Lagos and Port Harcourt. Asaba, okay. All right, so these are some areas that clearly cost of living in this area is excruciating, very difficult, from accommodation to transportation to foodstuff, because these are the three basic lifestyle, including power, NEPA, as the case is, if I may use that also. These are very difficult. So you cannot pay the same person in Abuja 1 million naira and then come to Abeokuta and pay the person 1 million naira. It's unfair at that point in time. Now that's geography. There's also industry. The pay in one industry is not the same pay in another industry. There are some industries that have distinguished themselves based on pay. There are some industries that they have regulations on how they pay in that particular area. Classic example, you cannot compare agriculture with oil and gas. The people who work in oil and gas, their salaries is not the same thing as the salaries in agriculture. Now, can you think of other industries where you think the salary should be very high? I've mentioned oil and gas. Which other industry should the salary be very high other than oil and gas? Which other place? Banking, right? Those people are swimming in money. Okay, all right. Healthcare, security, tech,
Technology.
technology, yes, IT, correct, as the case is, so to speak. So you don't think, and that is one of the mistakes some organizations make. Some organizations have subsidiaries. They have a subsidiary in telecoms. They have a subsidiary in financial services. They have a subsidiary in operations. They have a subsidiary in supermarket and things like that. And then they make salary equal across the whole area. No, it doesn't work that way. So this is some of the areas where benchmarking should be paid attention to very, very well. So many organizations need to think differently. Many organizations think benchmarking means checking salary numbers. No, it's more than that. This is incomplete, right? Real benchmarking examines total rewards, executive structures, incentives, market competitiveness, and strategic alignment of the business. It answers a more important question. Are we paying in a way that supports our business performance? Very clearly. Now, this is why we started the compensation and benefit survey last year, right? And last year we had a couple of organizations that participated in it. And this year currently we are running it again. The P4PE Compensation Intelligence Initiative is focused on building compensation intelligence across Nigeria and West Africa. We are gathering data from Nigeria, from Ghana, from Ivory Coast and various areas on salary position, so your organization can benchmark seamlessly. What do we look at? Our structure looks at multi-industry benchmarking. We also look at compensation intelligence index. We look at compensation intelligence awards. We award organizations that are getting it right, that are doing very well. We also have an annual compensation intelligence report that you can use to compare what you're doing at that point in time. And then there are strategic partnerships within the process at that point in time. So it is designed to solve a real market gap. Many organizations need credible benchmarking intelligence, but existing options are either too expensive for them or too shallow, or they are too foreign for you to be able to access. Now, if you want salary data, if you go online, it will be showing you pay scale, Glassdoor, some of those foreign companies that are not localized in our environment. If you now try the local ones that we have in our environment, they may be extremely expensive and difficult for you to access at that point in time. Now, what does our own compensation and benefit initiative, what does it cover? It covers base salary, it covers benefits and allowances across industries. It covers executive compensation and an executive bonus. It covers sales compensation, sales incentive, sales commission. It covers geographic analysis, salaries in Abuja, salaries in Lagos, salaries in Port Harcourt, across various geography. And it also covers industry segmentation. We actually have about 9 industries that we are gathering data on at that point in time. If you want to participate on it, How does it work? Very simple, 5 steps. Step 1, ask for the template. We have a template, an Excel template that you can use to upload your salary data into it, and then we can give it to you. Then you can then return to us a structured data of your compensation. We don't want all your compensation data, just summaries of various areas, and I'll show you a sample of what the Excel sheet looks like. Then we invite you, we will validate the data. When we receive it, we'll make a few calls. Sometimes we'll visit some organizations to validate, to ensure that the data that was sent is actually accurate, so that we are not taking data that is garbage in, garbage out at that point in time. Then we'll create our reports, intelligence report. We'll create the intelligence indexes, and then we'll create the award, and then create the insight, and we'll share it back to the various institutions. Very simple, very structured, and highly confidential. Your name does not appear in the reports. So nobody will say, this is a P4P salary structure. This is this organization salary structure. They will not see it. So the process is intentionally straightforward. We want participation to be practical, not burdensome for anybody. Organizations submit structured compensation data. We validate the data. We aggregate it confidentially. And then the output becomes a benchmark of intelligence that everybody can use in their various institutions to achieve results at that point in time. Yes, sir, that's the way it's done. Simple and very thorough at that point. And we've seen a lot, and we've compared them before we came to this analysis to make it like this as the case is. Okay, so let me share the Excel sheet so you can see what it looks like in case your organization decides to participate. And the best of it all, it is free to participate in. You can join this particular program, share your own data, and we'll send you a report at the end of the day. So employee grade level, you tell us your grade level, you tell us your role architecture. You tell us your base salary and your total cash that you pay. You tell us your bonus and incentive structures that you have. Are there benefits? What kind of benefits? What kind of allowances do you have? And then geographic and business segmentation. We're in Abuja, we're in Port Harcourt, we're in this area. This is how much we pay in this area. This is what we pay in this particular area. So one major concern organizations usually have is complexity. If you come to salary data, it's always complex. And you know, HR, they don't like too many mathematics, right? So here we demystify the whole process. The template is structured but practical, right? We are not asking for impossible data. We are asking for what you have already. We are asking for information that already exists in your system, in your payroll system. In fact, some of the reports you take to ESCO is almost enough for us to use in this particular analysis at this point in time. So let me see if I can quickly share that Excel sheet. Give me one moment. Let me change what we are sharing. Okay, so we share that sheet. This will take 5 minutes. We're almost at the end of our discussion. Microsoft PowerPoint, where is Excel? Okay, there it is. Okay, confirm you can see the Excel sheet. Very simple, very straightforward Excel sheet, right? Okay, so instruction. This is the page 1. You can see it here. Instruction, page 1, instruction. Complete all mandatory fields. Anywhere that is marked N, fill it. 2, do not include your employee's name. We do not want your staff name. So data protection and data privacy, do not include any name in it. 3, provide annualized figures in Naira. That is the annual figure. Don't give us monthly figure. What is the total in a year? Sum it up. Give us average in a year, what you give, all right? 4, executive data should also be aggregated, whatever it is that you have at that point in time. Then sales compensation, if you have, should reflect what you paid last year. So when we are saying as at the beginning of this year, this is what people are paying in terms of sale, it can align properly. On issues of confidentiality, all submitted data will be anonymized and aggregated. No individual company data will be published. No individual company data at that point in time. So company profile, we'll start from here. So this is where you enter your company profile. We usually give you a code, a company code. maybe the code of your company, because all you just see is the code, NRC 02038. This may be a code that is assigned to your organization. Anywhere we see, that is the only code we see. Nobody knows what that code means. Then which industry? You can see here, we have about 10 industries. Just choose the industry you belong to. Enter the industry at this point in time. Country, which country are you operating in? Are you in Nigeria? Are you in Ghana? Are you in Ivory Coast? Then your primary market, which market do you operate in? Are you in, sorry, somebody said it's a bit small, so I should make it bigger. All right, beautiful. Okay. So are you in Ghana? Are you in Nigeria? Are you in Anglophone environment? Are you in West Africa? Are you in Pan-West Africa? All right. Employer headcount. How many staff are in your organization? 25 to 100. 101 to... So you just select the drop down and choose what you have within your organization at that point in time. What is your annual revenue? Total annual revenue in your organization. 1 billion, 2 billion, 3 billion, whatever the figure is. Ownership structure. What kind of structure, what kind of organization do you have? Is it a PLC? Is it a limited liability company? Is it limited by guarantee like NGOs? Is it a public agency like government establishment? Is it a publicly unlisted company? Or is it a multinational that you have in the organization at that point in time? So you share that detail with us. How many years have you been in operation? 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years. How long has your business, your company been in operation? For example, if my organization were feeling this, if we come here, we will have entered 15 years because we've been in operation for 15 years at this point in time. The other question is asking multi-country operations. 2 to 3 countries, 4 to 5 countries, 5+ countries at that point in time. So are you operating in a multinational environment or you are just in one country where you are? Then your workforce unionization. Do you have union in your organization? Yes or no? Finish. No, we are not unionized or we are unionized. Beautiful. Then your work model. We are fully in person, everybody come to office. Or you're partially remote. Some people do remote, some people work in the office. Or we are 100% remote. Or we do hybrid. You can choose whether today you're in the office, tomorrow you're not in the office. Hybrid, as the case is. So what is your work model at that point? Who is your MD? What's the head of HR's name? What's the HR's contact? And what's the HR phone number? So if we're doing a follow-up, we know what to do to reach out to you at that point in time. Then the next thing is the cash, which is your base salary. And at the base salary, what are we asking for? So the various job levels. You have graduate trainees in your organization, right? Graduate trainees. Your officer level, your senior officers, your supervisors, your managers, senior manager, executive directors, C-suites, MD, CEO. So just put, as we have them here, you now come here. What is the job titles if you have various job titles? What job families did they belong to? Executive leadership, finance, HR, operations, sales, marketing, put all those things in those areas. Pay frequency. How often do you pay salaries? Monthly, twice in a month, on every 15 days, as the case is, weekly, as the case is. So tell us how frequently you pay salaries. Number of employees. How many employees do you have in this cadre? For example, entry level. How many employees are in entry level? 10. Officer level, how many? 2. Senior level, how many? 1. So you enter the number of employees in those areas. Then this is where you enter the salary. What is the base salary? 200,000, 400,000, 500,000. Finish. Do you do bonus? That's why it is optional. Do you have a bonus that employees are paid, maybe based on performance? So you put the percentage, 5% bonus, 10% bonus in this particular area. Or maybe you don't do bonus, you do actual cash payment. So what is the actual payment? 200,000, 50,000, 80,000, optional if you're doing it. Don't touch this column. It is automatic. It will sum up everything that needs to be summed up in this particular area. And you're good to go at that point. That is your total cash compensation. Same thing too is done under allowances and benefits. So we also ask some questions around allowances. For your entry level, for your professional staff, for that is your supervisors also, for your managers and for your executives. What do you pay? Do you have housing allowance? Do you have transport allowance? Do you have meal allowance? Do you have utility allowance, leave allowance, medical allowance, pension and employee contribution? Pension and employee contribution, employer contribution, as the case is. Health insurance, is it a basic plan? Is it the enhanced plan? Is it the executive plan, or you don't do health insurance? You have a hospital they go to. So you put a note, they go to hospital, our hospital. Are there other benefits? Any other benefits that you give? Do you have education support? If people go to university, go to get masters and co, you support them. Do you have a relocation package? What do you pay for relocation? Somebody is relocating from Lagos to Abuja, right? Do you have hardship allowance? Maybe somebody has been sent to work in Zambiza forest. How much are they paid for hardship allowance? Do you pay remote support? Maybe for your staff that are working remote. So you pay them for internet, you pay them for generator, or any allowance you have on remote. Are there other non-cash incentives that you give, like car, driver, housing, provided? Just list those things in those areas. Again, leave here. The system will automatically calculate by itself. Finally, executive compensation. When it comes to executive compensation, the same thing too. For executive compensation, we have looked at the C-suites, right? CEO, COO, CFO, CHRO, business unit head, GMs, right? All of them. In fact, let me just add GM here. GMs as the cases in this particular role. What is the annual base salary? What are the short-term salary? What are the long-term incentives? What are the equity? Do they have equity? Maybe they have a share in the business, so to speak. Are they granted equity? Maybe each year they receive some equity, 1% equity and something like that. Are there other benefits that they receive? Are there other board-approved structure that is given to them in the organization at that point? Are there executive benefits, premiums that are given to them? Are there deferred compensation? Deferred compensation is like, this year the executive has earned 1 million, but we're not paying this year. We will pay him next year. If he stays for another 1 year, he will earn it. If he doesn't stay, that one has gone. That's a way of retaining executives in the organization. How about severance structure? An executive is going. How do we sever the structure? What is the net entitlement or the parachute that we give him when he's leaving at that point? Leave this one again to auto-calculate on it. That's for executives. Then the last one is sales compensation. For sales compensation, right? We'll have different sales rules. Sales representative, sales manager, regional sales manager, business development manager, digital marketing, online sales, customer service officer, supervisor, manager. Just put your general title. Sales titles are not plenty. Just enter the title there. What's the base salary for sales? What's the commission you pay? What's the commission cap that you pay at that point? The maximum commission. All right. Are there any money that is paid for acceleration? So at any salesperson that performs very fast, he receives it. Then target incentives. Is there a target incentive? Any actual commission that is paid. Target attainment. Maybe if you achieve targets of 1 billion, we'll give you this. Then sales contest. Do you do a sales contest? Maybe every quarter, every month. Let us know. Then any other non-monetary incentives that you give to your salespeople. Any on-target earnings that you give to them. So all of that, you enter it here. So that's an example of the schedule. It's something that if you sit down with it, in 2-3 hours, you populate the data and then you send it across. And then you'll be able to assess, based on what you have populated, we'll give you the opportunity to be able to assess the data of other institutions. So you can then do your own benchmark. You can see that the data is very thorough. It's very encompassing. It captures almost everything across board in various areas. So this is an example of what we mean, that you can actually generate this data and be able to use it successfully for your organization. So that's our data, our templates for mining and gathering data for compensation, as the case is at this point in time. So why are organizations participating early? We invite organizations to participate early, all right? The earlier you participate, the better. Because compensation intelligence becomes more valuable before the market catches up. Early participation gives you visibility, gives you positioning, gives you access to strategic insights, and before the broader market release is given at that point in time. Early access to compensation intelligence, you can become a founding data partner. Your name will be mentioned regularly. We'll be promoting your organization regularly down the line for several years. Better strategic positioning, you have access to executive compensation, and then you have priority visibility in the market at that point in time. Our data, when we are done, presents what we call compensation intelligence index. Okay? Going forward in Nigeria, we want to introduce what is called compensation intelligence index. And the index is designed to become a market signal. It is not noise. It's a structured annual review of where compensation pressure, competitiveness, and executive pay movements are happening across the industries in Nigeria. It will focus on executive pay index, sales compensation index, HR compensation index, total reward compensation index, and industry compensation pressure. So next time when you look at your pay, maybe your HR manager's pay, you compare it with our HR manager compensation index. You say, our managers are 50% away from the index. Or you look at your industry, we are paying X amount in our industry. You now look at your industry, say, wow, we are already paying 10% above the industry at that time. And that's what the index does. Annually, it shows you how compensation is moving in various areas as the case is. What will you receive when you participate in this particular program? You will get an abridged benchmarking report. So participation is not just data submission. It is market positioning. Organizations that participate gain visibility into where they stand and access to structured data at that point in time. Okay, there's an award eligibility. When we are awarding the best compensating organization, your name will be mentioned as the case is if you fall into it. You get the opportunity for benchmarking and also strategic positioning at that point in time. These are some of the things you receive once your organization gets involved in this. What are some industries? I think we mentioned and showed some industries earlier when we looked at the Excel sheet. Financial services, banking, insurance, healthcare, energy, manufacturing, FMCG, technology, telecoms, logistics, supply chain, right? The health sector, the public sector, as the case is. Any of these sectors can participate in it and be able to achieve results at that point in time. So the initiative is designed for organizations that are serious about compensation strategy, especially organizations that are operating in competitive talent industries, in markets where staff always move around regularly, so that they can have access to data that can help them to manage growth, manage retention, and manage performance at that point in time. Okay, so there you have it. Here is the question now for you. Do you actually know where you stand in your compensation? These questions might be uncomfortable. Are your critical roles, are they underpaid? The employees occupying critical roles, are they currently underpaid? Is a red flag. Are your executives over-indexed? Another red flag. Are your sales incentives, are they driving performance or they are not driving performance? Red flag. Are your benefits competitive according to your industry, according to your market, or is it just expensive? There's an organization that is busy paying for gym for most of its staff, and less than 10% of the staff are using the gym services. There's another organization that is paying medical for a particular level of medical, and less than 15% of the staff are using that particular level of medical. They are all wasting money, as the case is. So this is a time for you to benchmark and be clear about what you're doing so you can be able to achieve the results rightly in those areas. Compensation decisions affect every part of the organization. If you do not know where you truly stand, you are making high-cost decisions with limited visibility with your data at that point in time. And so here, we invite you to apply and be a part of this so that you can benefit as much as possible from this particular structure, as much as possible. So what do we say? How do you participate? First step in participation is to request for that template I just showed you, right? Ask for the template. Either call us through our contact. By the time you receive this video recording, you'll see our phone numbers there, or go back to the email that invited you to this particular place and respond to it. Send us an email that you want to participate, all right? Participation, remember, is confidential. Gain confidence. It is free also, as the case is. So if you subscribe early and participate early, you'll be able to benefit from it. So the first step is simple: participate. Submit your compensation data confidentially, and then position yourself to achieve great results in the industry. We will support your team through the process, right? We will guide you. Someone will even call you and walk you through the Excel sheet in case you're having problem with it. If you still cannot fill it, we'll walk you through it and ensure that it is properly filled at that point. So there you have it, team. Thank you very much for this session. Any questions, feedback, please share. Let's talk about it before we wrap up and close. Questions, feedback, and then we are good to go. We will, the session will end in another 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you so much, Doctor. Just to clarify, in terms of participation, that request will come via email, or I'll do a chat to this number that I'm looking at on the screen.
So you can, okay, thank you. Thank you very much. More questions, more feedback on this. Thank you. Can organizations that pay only commissions participate? Yes, absolutely. Even if your pay package is just commissions, you participate. All right. Thank you.
Hello.
Okay, so caveat also needs. Hello, go ahead.
Yes, please, I want to find out, those of us in Ghana, is it going to be a problem if we also participate, since we are benchmarking against locations and all that? Is it going to be a problem if Ghanaians also participate?
No, it's not. So last year we had a couple of companies from Ghana who participated. And this year we expect the list of Ghana companies to also increase as the case is. Go ahead and participate, all right? So we'll benchmark you against the Ghana environment and also compare you to West African environment. So you can use those two data for your analysis.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes. The classification of critical staff is company to company. It depends on each organization, right, Samuel? A critical staff in one organization may not be a critical staff in another organization. Let me use the example of drivers. A driver in, let's say, in a commercial bank might not be a critical staff, because all he does is drive his executives around. So a personal driver, management driver is not a critical staff. However, a dispatch driver in courier company whose job is to move goods and service, as the case is, that's a critical role. So that particular person will be a critical staff at that point in time. So critical staff is defined by the organization at that time. And in our own schedule, when we are gathering data, we didn't define the critical staff ourselves. Whatever you put in there as your critical staff is what we will accept and what we will work with at that time. Thank you very much. Beautiful. Okay, 1 more minute before we sign off. Nora, you want to share? Okay, thank you so much for sharing with us. We'll meet again as you respond to us so that we can reach out to you and share the template down the line. If you have any issues and concerns, be our guest. We will be able to support you and assist you as you make progress down the line. All right, thank you very much and all the best as you continue to benchmark and take informed decisions on your compensation and data down the line. Have a lovely afternoon. This webinar will close in 1 minute.